Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Viv.
Good evening, Bronze. Good evening, 4D.
It is the 31st of July, 2025. Still on the Teacup, episode 25. And before we get going, I just want to make a correction for something I said last week. When we were talking about the gravity and all of that, and I talked about the speed of the Earth's rotation, and I said it was 1,000 miles per second at the equator. That was wrong. I was wrong. It's actually approximately 1,000 miles per hour. So I just want to put the record straight on that.
Wow.
Yeah, cheers for that, buddy. It's still fast. I mean, it's still, and it was still relevant to what we were talking about. But yeah, a lot of difference there.
Yeah. I knew when I said it, I kind of thought that doesn't sound right. And afterwards, I thought, oh God, I got that completely wrong. But anyway, there you go.
Well, that's all right. We're amateurs, which is better than being professionals.
Yeah. So what's been happening? Well, we know what's been happening. It's the same old, isn't it? Same old shit we always end up talking about, it seems, every week.
Yeah, every week I think it's crazier than the last, but every week is just a crazy week at the moment.
Yeah, it's hotting up for sure.
Very much enjoyed watching Starmer sat next to Trump, like a little schoolboy, like a petulant little schoolboy. And my favourite line was as he put his hand up and said, no, he's my friend.
Oh.
God, I hate that man. I absolutely detest you, Mr. Starmer. I absolutely detest you. How you can lead a country is absolutely ridiculous concept, honestly.
Yeah.
It's an absolute joke. Absolute joke, isn't it?
Yes. What is he, Viv? He's a proven. What is he?
A proven lawyer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but he did. He showed himself up for being the non-manly man he is. I thought his body language, the way he was taught, he just looked so out of place.
Yeah, well, he is out of place. He's not in the same league as Trump, and they both know it. Yeah, I mean, it was as you saw it, as everyone saw it, just a guy completely out of his depth. Trump was just playing with him like a cat with a wounded mouse, you know?
Yeah, indeed.
But it'd be nice to get some kind of positive results out of all of it. It's all just kind of words at the moment, but we'll see. Did you also notice that I think it was the day after Trump arrived, Jim Jordan came over with a couple of people and met up with Farage, and they were talking about the whole free speech situation in the UK.
Oh, really? Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, oh, he came all the way over here, you know, at the same time that Trump was here. And the whole angle it was very much about this online safety bill, and they're going after it as well, saying that they don't want American tech companies to be censored by the UK. So they've got an angle on it, which is good. So they're applying pressure from the angle that they can legitimately. And there's been a lot of pushback. There's an awful lot of pushback over it. So yeah, maybe this isn't quite done just yet.
And I think we've mentioned it before. They'd have to look into VPNs. I think we all use VPNs for our own different reasons. And how can they get? Again, their darkness would have to get darker and darker as they start banning VPNs, and then they're having to send people out to check. It's a ridiculous concept at the start, really.
Yeah, well, that seems the next step for them is to try and ban VPNs, which is just going to be ridiculous. Apparently, the amount of VPN usage or subscriptions has soared as well since they released the online safety crap. So, yeah.
It's always difficult because, like a lot of the things they throw at us, there's a lot of reasons why the online safety bill sounds like a great idea. I don't want children to be caught up in any of this stuff, and so from a 100-meter stare, it looks like a good idea. But when you get into the ins and outs of what that means, it's taking away your liberty and freedom. I know we're not Americans and we can't claim to have liberty and freedom anyway, but I like to fantasize that England was a free country, and we certainly aren't with situations like the online safety bill.
No, I mean it's
totally.
Yeah, I mean it's overkill. It's way overkill. You know, it's the reasons that they give for it are just a fraction of its use, of what it's going to be used for. And they've even come out and stated that they want to censor anti-migrant comments on social media. They've said that. That's what they said. And anything about, I think with this Jim Jordan thing, I think he was told that it was, or he revealed that they wanted to suppress all things talking about the two-tier policing as well. So it's no secret. It's no secret. Do you trust your government? No. So I'm not going to trust this.
No, absolutely not. What I found really disgusting and disappointing was that, well, not disappointing perhaps, was that Labour MP who was saying that Farage is aligned with Jimmy Savile. What the actual hell? Did you read that?
That's what I was just about to say, so I'm glad I let you talk. Yes.
Yeah.
Again, I stick by my rule that everything they show us, they want us to see. And so I think there's going to be a push now to bring his name back into our public. Again, I think there's all cogs. I think this is a good reason. I think our leader is heavily involved in that in some kind of way.
Well, also, yeah, I mean, as to add to what you said about them putting stuff out that they want us to see, quite often in cases like this, it's projection. They are accusing their opponents of what they are guilty of.
True. True.
And just for some background info, it's because Farage came out and criticised the online safety bill, and then this Labour MP came out and pushed the whole. It's protecting the children. You're basically protecting people like Jimmy Savile. That was the whole gist of it, wasn't it? And that was
disgraceful.
That was his angle of attack, which is just unbelievable. So yeah. Oh.
Did either of you guys see the new reform girl that was on? I believe it was on GB News. Absolutely, just doing the opposite, destroying Labour over why reform were against it. Did you see that?
That was Layla Cunningham, and she was talking to Labour MP Barry Gardner, and
it was Barry Gardner. I can't stand that man. Yes,
yeah. I saw that they got into a really heated debate, and she just rinsed him basically.
And she said it the right way. Exactly what we're all saying is that if it was just to protect kids, of course they would have gone for it. But she was pointing out the absolute darkness about us, and I forget all the things she brought up, but they were all very, very relevant. And good for her. She looks like a good spunky new member of the group.
There's also a clip of her. I think Dan Wootton played it, of confronting Sadiq Khan as well in the street.
Oh, was that her as well?
Yeah, that was her. And that was one of the things I really liked about the Trump visit, is meeting with Starmer, was where he just eviscerated Khan. Oh, he's a nasty man. And it was like, yep, he is. And then Starmer going, oh, he's a friend of mine. It's like, you need to fucking choose your friends. Sorry for swearing. You need to choose your friends more wisely.
Interesting who Trump has chose to be the UK news member on board Air Force One as well. It's Bev Turner. So it's not a BBC, it's not an ITV, it's none of the mainstream people. He's chose someone that people are going to hear and go, hang on, I don't know who Bev Turner is. Who the heck is she? Very cool choice for the alternative media.
Yeah, she was very good, and she was the one who asked the questions. Which Trump answered, which created so much discomfort for Starmer. She was the one who asked about the migrants and the boats and free speech. She was the one asking those questions. So yeah, hats off to her.
Yep, absolutely.
I believe it was her. He was answering on board Air Force One when he said that about Khan being a very nasty man and didn't trust him, and that. I think again that was her talking to him.
Can you imagine that? I mean, that must be a great little aspect of her job. She went over to Washington DC and she flew over on Air Force One to Scotland, and then she flew back to Washington DC on Air Force One. Wow.
Yeah,
That must have been very cool.
Totally.
Mm.
I wonder what the comfort is like for a journalist aboard Air Force One. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd sleep on the floor and be happy, but it must be amazing. Like, I've seen aboard Air Force One, and like the president gets his own room and everything, doesn't he? And it looks amazing.
Yeah. I'm sure it's you wouldn't really. It's not like traveling on an airline. You probably get a really comfortable bed. You probably get a nice area to sit down. You get really good food. I'm sure it's just like traveling on, or any kind of luxury transport, except you just have to be on a plane.
Yeah.
Oh well. I've never been on business class. Actually, no, I did sneak on once. It was all right, but you're up in the sky.
What I'd like on an airplane is be able to lie down. Give me a horizontal, like a little bed or something where I can lie down. I'd rather be lying down for the whole flight than sitting scrunched up with no leg room.
Yeah,
you can do that. You can do it.
Mm.
Yeah, there are such things. British Airways, when we repatriate people, they're generally on British Airways or these top class airline, or so called, because they have beds. If you've got a back injury, you need a flat bed, so they're repatriated on flat beds.
Repatriated? What are you talking about, Viv? We don't repatriate anybody.
Well, you're doing insurance. Yeah. Yeah. You break your back on the ski slope, and you've got insurance, and then you're repatriated.
Oh, I thought you meant repatriating people out of the country rather than into the country.
No. Oh, yeah. Good Lord, no.
Mm.
And apparently that's another one. There's been an influx in the millionaires leaving the UK, which is disastrous for us.
Yeah. It's just common sense. Anyone could have predicted that. Anyone could have predicted it. It's like, yeah. So, what else? What else is there that already could have predicted?
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I'm kind of. I've spent the week just thinking, it's bloody hopeless with these horrible people in charge. Dreadful people. I thought the Tories were bad, but this lot, And I think Labour get away with things because they seem to be the caring, sharing party. Of course, they're not. They're totally authoritarian, but
I think they get away with it because all of the media and all of the civil service are all on their side. I mean, the Tories. Yeah. See, the thing is, we didn't realise how bad the Tories were until Labour came in. But the Tories were just that. It's not like they did bad things. They just didn't do anything. They were just afraid to do anything, so nothing got done. Whereas now Labour are doing things, but they're just doing things completely in the wrong direction. They're just making things a hell of a lot worse, very much quicker.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think while they were in the opposition for 12 years, they spent 12 years stacking the dice to try and get back into power. And now they've got back in power. They've realised all the stacking they did, they've now got to deal with. And I mean, again, I think all three of us said this before they were in power, that if they got in power, it would be even worse. So it shouldn't be shocking any of us. But yeah, I think like Bron says, I think they pretty much controlled, because it's our bureaucracy that rule us. It's not the Labour or the Conservatives. It's the bureaucracy. And I suppose they already had their webs all over the bureaucracy trying to get back into power, and now they're in power. Those people that were in their web now have things against them and are saying, hang on, they will have paid money to get things done, and now they can't turn around and not do the things they were doing.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah. That may well have been partly the reason why the Conservatives didn't really get anything done, because the bureaucracy wasn't allowing them to get anything done. They were just stalling it, and derailing everything.
Do either of you two know about Common Purpose?
Yeah, the police are completely captured by Common Purpose. All of the hierarchy.
What do you mean by Common Purpose?
It's Common Purpose is a so-called NGO, non-governmental organisation, who train people. Now, funnily enough, I used to work in the same building as Common Purpose. That's not too specific, but I did, and it was full of bushy-tailed, bright-eyed young people, and they are trained to essentially to be what they call change agents. They move into organisations, such as the police, as Bron said, and they change things. They change things for the better. Common Purpose would say, but others would say, well, this is essentially putting a kind of neoliberal gloss on companies. Common Purpose, yeah, yep.
Right.
It's a company. They're a company, an NGO, basically.
Yeah, I would say they sound very much like a kind of a WEF operation.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there must be links there because they're basically doing the same type of thing as the WF. You know, the WF Young Global Leaders, all of that sort of nonsense.
Right.
Yep.
Sounds very similar to that. You know,
I think if you dig deep, you can see that Common Purpose is a lot more. It's a lot more embedded than people would realise. The UK column are very good on this. They've been looking at Common Purpose for years.
Does it have? Do you happen to know if it has ties to the Fabian Society or one of these?
Not sure about that. The person who runs it is called Julia Middleton. So it's instructive to have a quick look at what Common Purpose is, what they do, what influence they have, and their structure, and who funds them. I don't entirely know at the moment. I used to know a bit more, but so it just makes me wonder. You know, have they placed change agents all around the state, the institutions of the state?
I'm sure they have.
I believe so. Yeah.
Because that's why everything is being allowed to progress as it is. I think because of all of these people that have been inserted and infiltrated.
I think banning NGOs from government would be a good idea.
Absolutely.
Personally.
Yeah. NGOs are just seem to be the spawn of the devil these days. They got their fingers in so many things, and the money that funds them is very dark, in my opinion. Doesn't come from good sources.
No.
And I think that's what's going on with the whole Israel problem at the moment. I think Starmer or his party or just UK as a whole are so deeply involved in the problems going on there that even though Trump has sort of made his stand and pretty much the world has made its stand, we are going against the grain, and I think it's because they can't not, because they are so tied down with blackmail.
Yeah, well, Starmer recently announced that they were considering recognizing Palestine as a state.
Yeah.
Whereas before that wasn't the case. And he said it was conditional on Israel calling a ceasefire. If Israel don't call a ceasefire within such and such a time, then we're probably going to recognize Palestinian state. And I think I read something else that it's also, if Canada do it, then we're going to do it. And I think Trump has responded to that and says if Canada recognize Palestine, then any trade deal is going to be off the table.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, there's many cogs in this wheel. I think many cogs in this wheel.
Indeed. Yeah.
It worries me because it just makes me think of the geopolitical state of the world before the First World War and the second one, but more the First World War. It was, you know, countries taking sides and then it all going to shite after that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the First World War kind of was the end of empire, the end of the age of empire. and
Yeah.
gave birth to sort of more nation states emerging. But that was just the first. I mean, the end of the First World War was just the beginning of everything else which came after it. I think it wasn't the end of anything; it was the beginning.
Yeah. So that's probably when they started the concept of bringing down our individuality and everything. I think all of the wars, the great wars, were planned and made. Well, again, if you look into why the First World War started, it's all a political thing. It was all to do with money. It was nothing to do with religion. It was nothing to do with countries taking other countries. It was all a money grab. As you say, it was the end of the empires.
Yeah. I mean, it was such a clown show how that spiraled out of hand. Beginning of, I mean, that really should have just been a local war between Austria-Hungary and Serbia. That's all it should have been. But they had all these countries had alliances, and I think that it seems like there was a lot of naivety as well, because Germany just immediately backed Austria-Hungary because they had an alliance with them. Serbia were allied with Russia. Russia were allied with France. We didn't really have to get into it at all.
No. I was just going to say it was mainly Germany and France and their outposts around the world that started to take sides, and that sort of that put the First World War together. Yeah.
I mean, the only reason Britain got involved was to try and preserve what was left of its empire. It didn't have any. It wasn't interested in any of in the sense of going to war, getting involved in the European conflicts. It was all about preserving its empire, and it was really weird because Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, and then Russia started mobilizing its army because they were allied to Serbia, and then because Russia mobilized its army, Germany went and declared war on them. It was crazy. It's like, why did you do that? And then Germany declared war on France. It's like, this is crazy.
I know. I love the game of Risk. And I like to think I'm quite good at the game of Risk. And the amount of times I've sat there of an evening with a fragrant cigarette, shall we say, and just thought about the concept of why, why exactly what you just said, why they went to war against Russia, a huge country on their back end, and took loads of their land, and then said, right, France, we're going to have a go at you. It was, again, it had to be puppets, because it was no strategical man would think that was a good idea.
The crazy thing as well is like the Kaiser of Germany and the Tsar of Russia and also the King of England, they were all cousins. They were all like mates. They knew each other.
Yeah.
The Tsar Nicholas and the Kaiser Wilhelm, they were cousins. And it's crazy, really, really mad. And they obviously had no idea what they were getting into. They just did not know.
No, it's that idea of a deep state, a world governmental group of people, group of think tanks, whatever you want to imagine it is. It's this group that actually are doing all that for whatever purpose it is unknown to us. But yeah, I think it's that deep state idea, isn't it?
Yeah, the leader of the French military, Ferdinand Foch, what his name is, Foch. He knew exactly at the end of the war when they signed the Treaty of Versailles. He actually came out and said, "This is not the end of a war. This is just an armistice. This is just a ceasefire for 20 years." And he was almost bang on in terms of the time, because 20 years later, Europe was at war again. He could see exactly what it was about.
Yeah.
Mad.
And the thing is, economically, I mean, where was it going to go? Germany was embarrassed and economically destroyed after the First World War. So they had to save face because the country was going into anarchy, and it was a lot smaller than it had been prior to the First World War. And then, again, that's the scary thing about today, what's going on now. I can see little signs of how fascism started, how Nazi party got to power, because It's just this a bunch of people that have got nothing else. They lost everything, and they were totally against their government, and they showed it with unfortunately one of the worst situations this planet has ever known. The whole sort of getting rid of a group of people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Germany was a relatively young country. I mean, unified Germany was only formed in the 1870s, and they were very much growing as a nation, and they were in the business of expanding their empire. You know, they had a few colonies around the world. They had a few colonies in Africa. They even had a colony in China, a naval base in China, which actually, funnily enough, because the UK in the First World War, they were allied with Japan, and they wanted to get rid of the German naval base. It was in Tsingtao, you know, where the beer is made.
Oh yeah.
And they said to the Japanese, look, if you get the Germans out of Tsingtao, then you can pretty much do what you want in your part of the world, which directly, almost indirectly, led to the Japanese empire growing and being the force they were in the Second World War.
So many cogs getting turned in that whole period of time from, what is it? What was the beginning of the war?
1914.
Was it 14? Yeah, 1914. From that time on, yeah, what a massive cogs turning.
Yeah, and at the end of it, the Germans that didn't really that they had the attitude of not being defeated because their army hadn't been beaten, their national borders hadn't been crossed by the French or the British. So to them, it was kind of like they had this attitude that they'd not really lost because their army hadn't been defeated.
Yeah, and I can go with that. Yeah,
a lot of festering resentment because of that, and also because of the impositions of the Treaty of Versailles. I mean, the French just wanted to clean them out, absolutely clean them out in terms of reparations, which led to massive financial problems in Germany in the 20s. So and a lot of the players who rose to prominence in the Second World War fought in the First World War as well, and so that was all part of the psychological reasoning. You know, I mean, Hitler, as everyone knows, fought in the First World War. A few other Germans did who were militarily significant in the Second World War, so kind of shaped their thinking.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
And then after, I don't know if people are aware, but then after the Second World War, after that, all came dust settled. Sorry, Germany was split into three, where Russia took the east, and the west was split south-north with England and America. And we until recently took control of Germany to make sure they couldn't do it again, so to speak. So the fact that Germany even got back to today's standard is quite good of them, quite remarkable.
Well, I mean, that was under the guise of NATO, wasn't it? I mean, there was a lot of British Army bases in Germany, wasn't there, before the reunification? But
that's what I'm saying. It got split into three. So, and that's literally how Germany was until very, very recently.
But it's very telling, though. It's like the two countries who the two main players who lost the Second World War, Japan and Germany, grew to become two of the most economically powerful countries in the years that followed, in the decades that followed.
Yeah,
mainly because of the help they got in rebuilding from the West, from the Allies, so-called winners, because they had to rebuild. And so they kind of built from the ground up with the help of all the Western powers. Whereas, for example, us in this country, we didn't rebuild, so we still had our ancient old infrastructure, which never really got rebuilt.
Indeed, yes, this is true. the Second War was remarkable for urban development as well, because when countries like Germany rebuilt their medieval towns like Cologne, in Britain, the powers that shouldn't be just knocked down these old buildings and made it all new. They put up modernist and brutalist buildings. They destroyed old terraced housing, and they're still doing it. And the uglification of the urban centres probably dates from that period, of the post-war period. And now look at it. Now look at the state of it. It's crumbling. It's you know the score.
Yeah, it's not built to last, and it's not
No.
built. It's not built to please. It's not built to make us feel good. It's just temporarily functional.
Well, and you can understand it to a certain extent. Growing up in it doesn't matter. Yeah, I grew up in Portsmouth, and very, very working class. Most of the houses down there were what was called prefabs, and the prefabs were put up because of the war. It was quick, get loads and loads of houses built and pile people into them. And I think the prefabs were supposed to have been knocked down and got rid of by the 60s. And yet I grew up, there was prefabs all around me. Everyone still lived in them. They were leaky, they were terrible, they were cold. I don't know if you've ever been into the Second World War prefab houses, but you can understand why they were ugly. They just had to throw as many up as possible. My issue with it is that they then should have spent the money slowly bringing it back to what it was, but they just kept the money and started to become rich out of it.
Yeah, they're all just greasing their own palms. At the end of the day, vested interests. I don't know if you've seen, you can probably see it on Google Maps. The old Battersea Power Station on the south side of the River Thames. That was recently redeveloped. That whole area, Nine Elms, has been redeveloped over the last 10, 15 years. And they've turned the old Battersea Power Station into this massive kind of, it's like all these kind of accommodations and shops and restaurants, and it's all very flourishing now. But the architecture is horrendous. It is horror. I can't believe how somebody actually drew that up and said, yeah, that's good. Because if you look at it, if you go onto Google Maps, like Nine Elms Lane is a road which runs by it. If you go there, you can see Battersea Power Station, and it is just so ugly. It is unbelievably ugly, and this has only been built in the last few years. And I
remember when that project started. I haven't even seen the area since since I was up there. So yeah,
it's horrendous. I mean, if this is where we're at now in this day and age of architecture, then we're my God, it's awful.
The worst thing about that statement is Battersea Power Station was known for being an ugly place. So if you're saying it's even worse, that must be terrible.
I'm telling you, go on Gmaps, find Battersea Power Station, and just do Street View from Nine Elms Lane and have a look at it. It's horrendous.
Nine Elms is an absolute nightmare. Yeah. I mean, one of the protests I was on walked through that area, and I was astonished, absolutely astonished.
Well, I think a lot of it, probably since you were there, Viv, a lot of it has been developed now. I mean, that's where they moved the American embassy to along there.
Oh, so they did. Of course they did. Yeah.
Which may have been why the protests might have gone down there. There's also right next door to the Chinese embassy, which I'm kind of thinking, how is that a good move? But yeah, they moved it. They used to have a prime, like the American embassy used to have a prime location in Mayfair on Grosvenor Square, and when Obama was in power, he moved it to this new place down south the river.
That's right.
That was just an incredible, how did they let that happen?
Indeed, I know. Yeah, the American embassy was the new one is fortified, I believe, as well, heavily fortified.
Oh, I should imagine. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, which I suppose goes without saying. but the old embassy was fortified enough, not enough to stop the Battle of Red Lion Square in the late 60s, the protests against the Vietnam War, etc. So they've learned their lesson.
Okay.
Red Lion Square, yeah.
I've got to say, I've pulled this up while you were telling me about it, and I doesn't even look, I can't work out where it is. That doesn't look anything like it used to look.
No, the whole area used to be wasteland pretty much. They used to have the Covent Garden Market, New Covent Garden Market, which is kind of like flowers and sort of stuff like that, which is still there. That's been moved. But apart from that, it was pretty much wasteland. It was just barren wasteland. And
where's the actual power station?
If you go down towards, west along Nine Elms Lane, down towards what is it, Chelsea Bridge Road?
Yeah,
it's that end. It's where Battersea Dog is.
Yeah.
Just looks totally different. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah,
it does. It does. Yeah, I mean, even Batty's Power Station, which, you know, I personally think it's a beautiful building. I love those old modernist, pre-war buildings. It's a wonderful building, but you can barely see it. The way they've covered it over with blocks, tower block accommodation for the rich.
Is it the building that's got the roundabout around it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that really doesn't look. I see now. Yeah, I can visualize it now. Gotcha.
Yeah. Had the two huge tall chimneys,
and they're completely gone. Right.
Yeah, the four chimneys it had. I think, was it? I'm not.
Oh, was it 4? Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think so.
I think it was actually. Yeah.
It's on the cover of Pink Floyd's Pigs, the Pigs.
Oh, is it? Okay.
What did they put there? Just building lots of housing estate.
Apartments, shops, cafes. They made it into one of these modern sort of,
mixed use communities, and they blocked out the view of the power station. They're quite expensive, these flats. They're not social. It's not social housing, or maybe mixed use, which is a euphemism nowadays.
Not at all. It's not
high end stuff.
It's high end stuff. It's a bit like when you look at the city, how St. Paul used to stand prepped, and now it's the view of St. Paul is blocked as you go down Fleet Street, and I'm sure you know this, Bronze.
Yeah.
So St. Paul is now dwarfed. It used to be the tallest building.
You can see the dome and the spire, but everything else is just surrounded by modern blocks. So the real majesty of it is lost unless you go right up close to it. That's right. And it's much like another beautiful modernist building, apart from the statues of the bas reliefs and statues by Eric Gill, which aren't particularly well. There's some of them are pretty weird, but it's the St. James Railway Underground Station, the headquarters. It used to be former headquarters, might still be, of London Underground, and that was the tallest building at the time. Beautiful Art Deco building. Now surrounded by blocks, you can't even see it now. Oh, St. James, yeah.
You know that building?
I do, on the corner of was it Petty France and where Scotland Yard used to be. Was it Broadway? That
exactly.
Building? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Kind of almost Gothic, that building, isn't it?
Yeah, it's classified as Art Deco, but it's got a Gothic tinge definitely to it.
Yeah.
Or should we say Gotham City tinge? But still a good building, There aren't enough in London. It's a disgrace now. These steel-clad, glass-walled buildings built to last, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years. And they'll pull them down, build another monstrosity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Croydon. Has anyone seen Croydon lately?
Not recently. I'll try and avoid it if possible. That's horrible.
Oh, dear.
Croydon. Yeah.
Mm.
Uh,
But when you look at Paris, which last time we were in Paris, we did stay in a modern block. It was a penthouse. It was a really good. We really got lucky, and so we could see across to Eiffel Tower. But the Parisian authorities are very protective of the original designs, the street layouts. They won't allow these big monstrosities. I mean, around Paris, yeah, on the banlieues, there are high rises, but they call it the donut. But in the centre of Paris, they have protected the historical buildings, and it looks absolutely fine. There's a couple of big buildings, but not much really. In London, it's out of control.
it is something I saw. Well, it must have been maybe last year. There's an area it's just north of where the BBC building is in Portland Place, and you go up towards Regent's Park, and there's like a road there called Park Crescent, which is like a semicircle. Which
I know it, yeah.
And all of those buildings along there were being rebuilt, and and what they did, right? Because obviously there was some kind of protection order on them, and so they knocked down all of the building, but they just kept the front, the fascia of the buildings.
Oh, that's a trick, isn't it?
And they rebuilt everything. They rebuilt everything behind it, so it all looks the same from the front. They've got the front of the buildings all have the same look. They didn't, but everything behind it has just been completely rebuilt.
You are kidding me.
No,
really.
I just thought, man, that's kind of. I kind of felt you're cheating. That's kind of cheating.
It's total cheating. That crescent is. The architect was John Nash, who was master of classical architecture in the 18th century. So they've managed to get in there, have they? Right, brilliant. Yeah. Disgrace. It's absolute disgrace. They have no respect for the past, no respect for English architecture traditions, no respect whatsoever. They want to destroy it.
It's money, isn't it? It's all about money. That's all it's about.
Yeah, I know, but there's some things in life are more important than money. Things like culture and tradition.
One of the first places when I came back home, one of the first places that broke my heart was Hastings. Again, everyone should know about the Battle of Hastings. It's a massive historical moment of our past. And you go to Hastings now, guys, and every other house is a drug den. There's such poverty. It's all smashed up. It looks like something out of a horror movie. It's so sad. So sad what they've done to this country.
It really is. It really is.
When you think about the amazing castles, the amazing cathedrals, the amazing architecture, full stop. We had some great buildings here.
I know.
As did the continent. You go to Germany and they had amazing. I love that wood and sort of wood and mud kind of. I don't know what you call that German architecture. I love it, and it's all of it, all around the world. It's not just this country. They only the countries that have stayed like China is still very history based, and they still look after all their old temples and places like that. There's some countries that still do it, but these Western countries, we seem to have just got so deep into money that no one gives a crap about it anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I would say more Japan has been retained its traditional architecture with mixed with the modern. But I've heard in China, and people who visited say there are whole cities there, whole massive cities that we know nothing about, that are totally dystopian, modern. We're not even modern, postmodern, massive buildings filled with ants. And I don't mean any disrespect to the Chinese people, but that's what they've been put in by the communists.
Yeah. Well, are you talking 15-minute cities there? Everything is
sort of.
Controlled.
Yeah.
Facial recognition, everything is. You have to. Yeah. Everyone does everything on their phone. It's all connected. It's all monitored. It's all logged.
Yep,
yeah,
totally. My mate around tonight, he was saying he's been to China, and he said that everyone's got a VPN there, You can't. He took a little pad with him. He said, "You can't get anything. You can't get anything." That's why everyone's got a VPN. You know, to get things. Yeah, you know,
Surprised
it's so heavily controlled.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised the CCP haven't clamped down on that.
I
mean, if the CCP can't stop people using VPNs, then that bodes quite well for us.
It's a good sign. It's a good sign. I'm thinking of
that's the thing. You can't actually stop dissidents, you know, because there's too many of us. It's always been the point that there's more of us than there is them, and they'll never. You say, why don't they stop it? They don't stop it because they can't, and if they tried, it's always one push too far, and the people will just, you know, cut you up. So even communists, even with their dictatorships, even with their murderous ways, they still kind of have to realise that you can't stop dissidents.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. You can't stop the human spirit.
Yeah, the human spirit to freedom, the human spirit to be free. Yeah.
And I certainly think even more so nowadays, because the spirit of dissidents is growing. Definitely is growing. Well,
bringing us back to the shores of this country, I guess the big news, certainly from my point of view, is the whole Tommy Robinson was at a train station a couple of days ago. He was obviously going to the train station because he was going to the airport to fly to another country, because I believe he was doing some interviews. And all we got on the news was a half video of a man laying on a floor with Tommy Robinson saying, "He came at me, bruv." Obviously something's gone on there, and I'd even say I don't understand what the guy's got on his head, and I'd love you to talk about that as well.
I think that was just the hood of his jacket was up over his head.
Right. I wondered if it was something like or a backpack that had just flown over his head or something, but it looked weird. But either way, what was dissidents? Things are so on a knife edge in this country, and clearly the government are going to try and stitch him up on this. But I think I've heard from one of Tommy's team that they've already got video evidence that will prove without a shadow of a doubt that this guy came up to him. But either way, this country is such. I say every week, but we are so on a knife edge, gents. It's really worrying at the moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, looking kind of where this might be going, it's this government is not going to change. Okay, I can't see it changing, and we still got 4 more years of this. So this is not going to just peter out. This is only going to grow, and I think that it will come to a head at some point sooner or later, before there's any chance of any voting this lot out. Not that will really probably make any difference, because reform seems to be the front runners, but they're increasingly just seeming to be just a false hope. It's growing. There are protests erupting all over the country with regards to these migrant hotels. Doesn't seem to be stopping. People are becoming very, very angry. They are becoming very aware of all the tyranny that's being placed upon us. So it's just gonna continue, I think, until it.
My latest piece is about Exercise Pegasus. Have you heard about that?
I have heard about that, but I can't remember. Go on.
Yeah, I have. I was going to say the same. I can't remember what that is. Go on.
Yeah, they're running a simulation. It's called the largest simulation this country's ever seen as regards so-called pandemic response.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And they're running it, I think, from September into October, maybe longer. It's various exercises, tabletop mainly. Much like the event 201 that was run in 2019, which, strangely enough, mirrored the actual outbreak of the pseudo pandemic in 2020. Wasn't it just coincidence? Who knows? God.
I hear Yeah, sorry.
So I was going to conclude by saying two things. I wonder if they're planning another lockdown, if they're because Labour loved the lockdown, but it wasn't tough enough. They wanted it harder and longer. And so has Lord Keir decided? We're going to have our very own lockdown, children. It's going to be much better than that other the blue wing of the big bird of prey. Yes. Oh
man. I mean, sorry to interrupt you, Viv, but I mean, is that guy has he just completely lost his marbles? Look at the state of the country, and they want to lock us down. It's like that is just going to really explode if they try and do that.
I know. I don't know if they'll do this. I don't know if they'll go this far. I mean, my view is that a lockdown will come through the Trojan horse will be the environment, so-called climate change. Again, another false narrative.
How will they justify that? Locking us down because of what? Because of what? Too much carbon dioxide? Or we've got to lock everybody down because there's too much carbon. I don't know. How I have no idea how they would gonna.
They've already the last one, buddy. I mean, it's stupid people out there.
Yeah, it'd have to be another. It'd probably be another deadliest disease ever.
I think so. The climate one, though, they have sort of made. There have been intimations. When it's really hot, stay inside.
Oh yeah, right. That's come on. That's not going to fly. No way.
No,
that's not.
It does remind me. I've got to get in touch with my friend Ivor. Ivor makes tin, and I must get Ivor makes tin.
Ivor makes what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, gotcha.
Yeah. My friend Ivor, he makes tin, and I know I've got to get some of that soon. But it won't work. But it will for the masses that are hooked into the TV screen. It won't have the effect that it had in any way, shape, or form. There's too many people awake to all of this now.
Yeah.
But I think they'll try it. You were saying, I think that America thought this with the beginning of Biden. They must have thought, oh my God, we've got another 3 years of this. And he did destroy them for 4 years. But there was a sort of light at the end of the tunnel. And I think it's the same for us. I think we might have to, we all had bets on how long Starmer was going to last. Maybe that's the point. He's going to be there till the end, and we are going to have a bit of a 4-year struggle.
Yeah, I lost that one miserably. You two guys. Still in that, but no, I mean, I think if they do try and pull another deadliest disease ever, it will probably come through the WHO pandemic treaty, where we won't have to.
That's right.
Where they will just tell us this is how it is, and this government will just bend over and take it.
That's what I believe, and the government can also use plausible deniability, and so it wasn't us, Gov. A big boy did it and ran away.
Yeah. I did hear talking about.
Obviously, by the way, we're just talking about computer generated scenarios. We're not talking about anything real here, by the way. Just point out.
No, I mean, certainly not.
Nothing that we're talking about here is real.
No.
But I did hear that you mentioned the Operation Pegasus.
Pegasus, yeah. Exercise Pegasus, Operation Pegasus.
There is. They did say that there's going to be another emergency alert scheduled for September as well, I believe.
Do you know who runs those? Do you know who runs those alerts?
Turco?
No.
It's usually them.
That's a good guess, though.
Yeah.
No, it's just really interesting, this, actually. Because Operation Pegasus has a brother, and it's got the same name. Pegasus is hacking software, spyware sold and licensed to governments by NSA Group from Israel, with the capability to infect billions of phones on iOS or Android operating systems as 24-hour surveillance and monitoring. And they are the ones that run the emergency alerts.
Well, I'm going to do the same thing I did last time when we last had one. I'm going to try and disable everything on my phone, and just to make sure when it's scheduled to happen, I'm going to switch off my phone and take out my SIM card.
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me is in this scenario that is that it could be real this time, because it makes sense that you again, if I pretend to be a bad person, if I put out a fake virus and that doesn't work, I know that I can put out a real one this time because people are awake to the fakeness and still get my own way. So I'm in this kind of fake scenario that we're talking about. I just wanted to point out, I'm not saying that I think there'll be some fake thing. I think actually it might be really bad.
Yeah, it's possible as well. But then again, you have to remember that viruses are indiscriminate. So, I mean, the last time, as we saw, the powers that shouldn't be were partying. They weren't wearing masks. They didn't believe in that bullshit.
Yeah.
I still don't. Yeah, but I still 99.9% say that there was nothing going on back then. I still think, I know it's a crazy thing, but I don't think there was. I think COVID-19 is just something that's been out there for a long time. It's not a cold. It's a virus. A flu thing, and so that's why I think it wasn't real. As in, it already existed. They just made it sound worse than it is. What worries me is that this time it will be as dangerous as that.
I think it may have been a slightly modified flu, but not really. So certainly not as deadly, because there did seem to be definitely something that people were coming down with, which people who caught it said it was like one of the worst, flus I've ever had. But they recovered just like you do, Like
2019.
This
showed itself in 2019.
Right.
Yeah. People I know.
The early deaths were from where they were forcing air into their lungs, which is not what you should do when you've got lung problems.
Absolutely.
I mean, another thing to consider why this may not actually come to light is they don't have the control and the funding that they did back then.
Absolutely,
A lot of their money has been cut off now. A lot of they don't have the narrative control they had. That's been kind of decimated. A lot of the money coming from look all the like the USAID for example, how that's been shut down, and it's amazing how many companies now are suffering. Coincidentally, laying off people, and not having the money to do things. So it's like, okay. And also, of course, whether or not there's a connection with Ukraine, this is still unverified, but there's a lot of talk about biolabs in Ukraine. Those have quite possibly been dismantled or shut down as well, if they did have anything to do with it, with gain of function and all that nonsense. So I think if they do try it, it's going to be a lot more difficult for them this time. A lot more difficult for them to pull it off. They didn't pull it off last time, not properly, not how they intended. So if they try it again, it's I don't think it's going to work.
No.
I'm hoping September the 13th. Another plug for September the 13th. If you care about England and you want to just show your face as, look, we are peaceful people that love our country. 13th of September. I think I really hope it's going to be as big as I think it's going to be. I think if it is, things like this can have an effect. You don't have to use guns and tanks, and I'm really hoping for the 13th of September. I'll say the date again, but I noticed they've planned things. They want. I was watching Tommy Robinson's channel today, and they was talking about that they only want us to turn up at Waterloo Station, and if you're not at Waterloo Station, you're not going to be involved in the march, sort of thing. In as much as they're covering every base, and they're saying to us all, no one wear masks, obviously, and no one be violent, obviously. There's a big push for bringing your family, bringing your children, bringing the elderly, bringing the normal people to the UK. And with everything that's going on with Tommy Robinson at the moment, I'm still trying to get someone else to go down. I think we should all try and get someone else to go with us to make the numbers big. But I've got big hopes for that day.
Well, I think this is just keeping the pressure and the momentum. I don't think it will be smaller than the previous events. It may well be larger, and judging by the mood of the nation at the moment, that could quite possibly be true. So it's just it's the next step. Just keep going, keep at it, it's moving and it's growing, and I think already it's probably too big for them to shut down. It's beyond their control now, I think.
I think so. Yeah, he was Tommy. If you haven't seen it yet, it's worth seeing. He put something out on his channel, and it's him going up the route and explaining what's happened. He was saying that he seems to be on the side of the Met Police. He was saying that it was the government that have said he can't do this, this, and this, and he was going to have it at Parliament Square. Excuse me. He was going to have it at Parliament Square, and it. He said it came across as though it was the police that were stopping us, but it's not. It's the government. And he said since I was in prison, I had prison guards putting photographs under the door, saying your people are out on the streets at the moment. He said so they were on my side in prison, and he said since I've come out, they're the ones that have been telling me how to get around the rules to do this parade thing on the 13th of September. So interesting interesting things that he's talking about there, that even he's talking about a split between the police and the government, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's really good to hear. Yeah, I saw that him talking about that, saying when he was locked up, they're putting pictures under his door, showing him pictures of all the people who turned up, and then a woman came in with a live TikTok video saying, "Here you go, here's your people, all at the event." And then he said the police officers, when he was at a police desk, saying basically kind of like, yeah, you're smashing it, you're doing it. So it does seem there's definitely people within those organisations who are on his side and supportive of him, which is good, which is very good.
It is good, because I've got to be honest. Someone like me, I'm always honest. I have no trust or faith in the police, and I don't. Again, as an honest person, if a police officer comes too close to me and I haven't done anything wrong, I will defend myself, because that's how badly I feel against the police. So I at least I'm being honest with that, but I'm also going to be honest and say, so that's nice to know that I'm wrong. There are more good guys than there are bad.
The real problem, sort of completing a circle here, is the police chiefs. They are the real problems, and they are common purpose, and that's why they are the problem. The rank and file police may be in a very tough situation, because they may be, that they're just ordinary people, that they want to do a job, they want to do a good job, that they got pensions, they got families, they got mortgages, and they know what's going on, and for the moment, it's like they've just got to they're following orders. I know that's no excuse, but I'm sure a lot of them are wrestling with their conscience at the same time. So
yeah, I think I need to be reminded. I'm one of the ones that needs to be reminded of that every now and then, because I lost all faith in the police. It's
those frontline policemen and women who can see, who really get how much the public distrust them and despise them now, because of the way that the police forces have been acting, and they've been acting that way because their orders coming down from above. But it's the people on the front lines who get it, that they see it, they see the reality of it, and they know it, and they must understand it. So
yeah, and I noticed that GB News is starting to actually say that about the police officers that were involved in the grooming gangs. So now this isn't. Again, I can actually say that now it's not conspiracy. This has been on news channels, that the girls within the Rotherham incidents, which again, people like the three of us have heard about years ago, but now they are actually saying it to the general public, that the girls are coming forward and saying the police officers were the ones that we were getting passed to.
Yeah, they were. Yes, they were part of the problem. They were doing the same thing as the rape gangs. I know, it's shocking. It's terrible. Just something quite interesting. I was looking at the Daily Express website earlier today, and they had some updated news about going back to this the guy who was on the floor at St Pancras, the Tommy incident, and they had an update on him. And I noticed that the way that they were talking about it, they had changed. the way they were describing Tommy was they were calling him a right activist. And it's like their language is starting to change. It's starting to soften a bit. It's not like far right extremist Tommy Robinson. It wasn't any of that
Right,
stuff
gotcha.
anymore. You know,
Yeah.
they seem to be kind of the rhetoric is starting to soften, and that was very noticeable to me. Through the whole article, it was like that. They weren't quite so blatantly condemning him. You know, with their rhetoric, it was this is quite interesting.
Yeah, even the Manchester, like you said, they were calling them thugs, and it's the first time they've used that sort of language against them.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the winds of change, maybe.
You're very quiet this week, Viv.
Oh no, I'm all right. I'm all right. I was quite to last week because of the connection problems that I was having, the delay. But I'm pleased to say that in this little county, the sky is clear. It's better now. It's all to do with the cloud cover. I've worked it out. I know what happens.
Yeah.
Connection is fine now. Sky clear. All good.
Nice.
It's so essential now. It's so essential now, the internet, though, isn't it? Just for
I think it is. Yeah.
For day-to-day things.
I know.
It is for me.
I know, but at the same time, I'm going to get a VPN. I'm thinking maybe the Proton one looks all right. Don't know. What do you reckon? What does anyone reckon?
Well, I think that there's just a few things, one or two things to consider. Make sure whatever VPN, don't get a free one, because they're free for a reason, because they're not very good. You want one with a strict no logs policy, first of all, which means they don't keep any logs of your internet activity, which is the whole point of a VPN. Obviously the price, Surfshark are meant to be quite good. There's and also it depends. I mean, the thing about VPNs is for almost all of them you have to sign up online, which means giving all your details. You have to pay
that's
online, so they get your credit cards or whatever, your bank details, they get your name, your address, they get all that information. Now that isn't necessarily a bad thing. But that information is that they do have that information about you if ever they get investigated or visited by the powers that shouldn't be. So but that's the case for most of them. I mean, mine and as 4D and I know with mine, the one that I use, you can use it anonymous. You can sign up anonymously. Because instead of paying for it online with a card, you can just send the money in an envelope without any details, which is what I do. I mean, then there's no such thing as anything being 100% 100% foolproof in terms of your giving out your personal information. But yeah, I mean, maybe when I would say probably maybe the ones that me 4D uses, I've never had any real problems with them. They're pretty good. Or Surfshark seems quite good. I think you get a month free with Surfshark as well, and they're I mean, the one that I use is pretty cheap. It's just €5 a month flat fee.
You use that Swedish firm, don't you?
Yeah, it's Molvad. It's called Molvad.
Yeah, interesting.
So Surfshark.
Yeah.
The first time I started using a VPN was ExpressVPN, but I didn't like them very much because every time I changed the server, every time I wanted to switch server for whatever reason, it would disconnect my connection, and I had to reboot my computer to reestablish the connection. So that was a real pain in the ass. So yeah, I ditched them.
Yeah.
There's a few out there. There's NordVPN, Surfshark. What was the one that you mentioned? Oh yeah, Proton. Yeah, I mean, I suppose they're much of a muchness. It's a matter of definitely get a strict no logs policy. See how many servers they got. Look at their speeds. server speeds, because the nature of a VPN, it's going to slow down your connection a little bit, because it has to travel through their servers first before it goes out to where you want it to go. But they're most of them these days are pretty good like that. The speed isn't too much of an issue. But maybe have a look at some VPN comparison sites, and just do a bit of research that way.
Yeah,
just see what's best.
Yeah, I just think Proton, because I've got an email account with Proton, and it seems to be all right, really. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be pretty privacy based. So
Lucy Connolly is due to come out soon, which is great news.
August, yeah, she's going to be released next month, apparently. I really hope she goes scorched earth on them. I really do.
She'd be another great one to turn up on the 13th of September, actually, wouldn't she?
Oh, that'd be great. Apparently, Jordan Peterson's going to come. Don't really know what to make of that. He's a bit of a don't know.
I don't know what to make of him either.
Yeah, but I suppose that's quite a high profile name. Be interesting to see what the lineup is, what people they have coming.
He's mentioned a couple of names. I know Katie Hopkins, Reverend Calvin Robbins.
Oh, Father Calvin Robinson.
Yeah, he's coming down. Oh, and his other half. What was the?
Oh, Lawrence Fox.
Lawrence Fox. I think he's coming down. Which didn't Tommy do a thing with Lawrence Fox a couple of days ago? Actually,
I'm not sure if he did a thing. I saw
the YouTube thing.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know he went round to his house for a barbecue recently.
It was a really weird short YouTube, one of those YouTube shorts where Lawrence Fox was in the background, Tommy Robinson was in the front, and they were just saying something like, "We've got together, we're having a barbecue," and they were kind of doing a whole wink, nudge type thing, as if to say, "Look, we're having a chat together." Yeah. I can't remember the other names, but there was a couple of big names that had been mentioned.
Yeah, but that's good news about Lucy Connolly. Also, another thing which is a fairly prominent thing which has been in the news, those animals who attacked police at the Manchester airport. There was that trial that had come through. Did you hear about that?
I thought that's what you were mentioning before when I said about the thugs. Sorry, you were talking about someone else. Yes.
Oh, yeah. One of them got found guilty. The other one apparently is going for a retrial. Quite sure what all that's about, but yeah, they need to be made an example of. Absolutely.
The sentencing is pretty low on those people, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
One of them got off. One of them got off because they can't help themselves. That's the trouble. You see, they have to be let off because they can't help it. It's cultural.
Yeah, because
is that what we're being? Are we being told this? Is that what it actually means? I mean, my God,
well, they haven't actually sentenced them yet. This is the thing. The sentencing hasn't been decided. It's just the verdict.
No.
But the one who got off, apparently, for some reason or other, they're talking about a retrial. Now, I'm not quite sure with the ins and outs of that, but it's just going to drag on, isn't it? So, but yeah, so we're still waiting for the actual sentencing.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Anyway,
it only shows off the obvious two-tier policing, and again, I think to a certain extent it's deliberate to wake people up. But either way, it's so obvious.
Yeah. I know, but it's horrific what they did. I mean, they're just animals. They are animals. That's really. They need to be taught a lesson.
But then again, in my work, I hear people, which I won't describe, but I'll describe some of the interactions. There are people who are so entitled, you would not believe it. You would not believe it.
Do you know? I think it's a mix. Sorry, I was going to say it's a mix of entitlement and the lack of love. It really is. Do you know?
It's also a lack of
Yeah.
self-responsibility. I think people are so irresponsible. They've got no sense of self-responsibility anymore. That's part of it.
No, I know.
There is that, but I think a major part of it is when you're craving for some kind of relevance, some kind of love, some kind of support, and no one, you're phoning up the gas company because you haven't got money and your job's hindering you and you're a single person, all the things that go into that. I think a lot of it is it's not through anger, it's through the lack of I wish someone would notice me.
Well, that's really probably the reasoning behind most of the internet trolls.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Because that always baffles me why people do that. And it's like, you just want attention. You don't care if people hate you or whatever. You just want attention. You just want to be noticed.
It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. It's absolutely mad. I had someone today, believe it or not, who he said, I want to make put in something. I don't want to give too much away, but I want to put something in because I was thrown off a flight today. I want to put in a cancellation. I said, "Oh, why is that then, mate?" Not mate. I didn't say mate, but and and he said, "Because I got arrested, innit? I got arrested."
Yeah.
And so I said, "I'm sorry, that's not an insured peril to be arrested." It just doesn't work like that, And he went absolutely mental at me.
Yeah.
Okay. He went absolutely mental. I said, "Oh, mate," I didn't say mate. I said, "Well, why were you arrested?" He said, "Oh, I got on a flight and because I've got a restraining order, right, about visiting my girlfriend." And I was thinking, "Oh my God, mate, you're mental."
This was self-inflicted, you moron.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It's not an insured peril. We can't. You didn't miss your flight because the traffic was shit, or there was an accident. You missed your flight because you're a wanker, basically.
No, that is it. I see this so often these days, and it really winds people just do really obnoxious things, and it gets on other people's nerves, and other people react, and the person who's done the obnoxious thing just completely acts as if it's the other person's fault.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, you people need to. Oh, I don't know. It really is a modern thing nowadays.
No, every married man can tell you the same when they have an argument with their wife.
Well, yeah, I suppose so, but this was a bit extreme, and I just, he started shouting at me, and I thought, all right, fella. I said, okay, on we go. You'll be all right.
The time at the third stroke will be.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, you've reached the speaking clock.
The thing is, as I've said to you, I was that angry guy, and if I can give you any consolation, it's just that to know that when that phone went down, that person hates himself, because it would be the same. I'd be punching walls. The person on the phone was just literally someone to shout at. It didn't matter. I didn't have a problem with the person on the phone. I was just such an angry person myself that person said the wrong thing. That person gets the bullshit from my mouth. But as I say, the good thing to know is you can guarantee with that much anger, and you end up hurting yourself. So he would have gone off, thought you were a tosspot, and smacked the wall and probably bust his finger.
Yeah,
I reckon the big problem I have with that is like people. Yeah, people have problems and stresses and frustrations, but taking out on a random stranger is the worst thing I have about that. Is you might be having a really bad because of your problems, and now you've just ruined somebody else's day who had nothing to do with it. And
absolutely,
and treating people like that is really wrong. You're just
it's really wrong. It's really wrong. You're spreading bad vibes. You're lowering the vibe. But thing is, mate, I don't give a shit.
But some people do. You've got a tough skin. You're sensible about it, but a lot of people don't.
I know.
I mean, I saw it I was waiting in line in a shop some time ago, and this woman goes up to, there's this young girl at the counter, and she was just giving her such a hard time for something or other, and you could tell it was really upsetting this girl at the counter.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just look, this has got nothing to do with her. You're just making crap out of nothing because you're having a bad day for whatever reason. That's fine,
Yeah.
I understand, but it's not her fault. You know, don't take it out on her because. And then when she left and I went up to you, the poor girl was just in bits because of that. You know, and I just thought, oh, that is so
Yeah.
bad. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. The thing is, like as I said to Sarah many times, back in the day, I didn't mean to hurt people. I didn't even. You know, it's obviously you did because you did that. But what I mean is that's the point of losing your temper. It's not a normal state of mind. It's that person has got to the point where they're not rationally thinking, because to shout and scream at a little lady and cause her to be absolutely petrified of you, I didn't really want that to happen. It happened all the time, guys, but I didn't mean it to happen.
I know. And
I'm not trying to give everyone a get out of jail free card because there are scumbags out there.
Would you add them
No.
into jail?
No, as I always say, to people, I offer this as an explanation, but not as an excuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
There we go.
Listen, we're coming to the end, and we haven't done any comedy yet. So we'll have to leave all the geopolitics and go to someone called Les, if I can even work out which Les we're going to talk about. But yes.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that's debatable whether we haven't done any comedy. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah.
I've got to say,
it's probably for other nationalities listening. It hasn't been comedic, but it's it's called like dry English humour, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, say again. It's called
dry English humour. He said.
Oh, sorry. It sounded like dry as a shoom.
Dry English humour, yeah.
Dry English humour, yeah. Okay. Well, as far as Les Dawson goes, I've got to say I was never much of a fan of Les Dawson. I didn't. It's not that I disliked him, but I never really paid too much attention to him. So, so you guys take it away with Les Dawson.
Well, you caught me before. I was getting a sneaky laugh in before I started with you guys. I had Les Dawson on watching some of his. That sort of outside the front door woman with chatting to the neighbour female, and some of those are just so funny. Honestly, it's, as I was saying to Bronze, it's half of the laugh is just the mannerisms. He's not even saying anything. Where he does that talking under his breath, where she did that, and it's the way he moves his mouth, and I just find him hilarious visually.
Well, do you know what? Something interesting about that I read was apparently he adopted that. Because they'd be doing their conversation, and then when it came to something maybe about something a bit embarrassing, like something sexual or body part, they would just mouth the words rather than say them.
That's it.
And apparently he got that from people that he knew in Lancashire, because he's originally from Manchester. And that was apparently, it's called meemawing, apparently. And that was something that women used to do who worked in the mill, because the sound of the loom would be so loud, they used to just mouth things to each other because they couldn't hear each other. And that kind of got adopted into kind of social discourse, you know. And he just said he picked it up from women that I knew, because they used to do that sort of thing. But he turned it into a comedic mechanism, if you like.
I don't know if any of you two have worked in a factory, but I have. The women who work in factories, it's just absolutely outrageous. Outrageous the things they say to you, especially if you had a young lad. One of my first jobs was in a factory, and you walk through the women's area when they were doing the factory work where they were doing. And the things they'd say to you, oh my God, it was, you'd just be blushing and thinking, oh my God, I need to get out of here.
Workplace harassment.
Well, this was late 70s, early 80s.
I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it at all, but
no.
Well, do you know, it's
hilarious.
Making an observation.
It's funny. My first job was working at IBM as a toilet cleaner. because I did so well at school. That was where I went to. But
yeah.
I was a young kid, just left school, and the sex, it would, by today's standards, definitely be sexual harassment. I used to get really scared about going to work because you'd go in the women's toilets to clean, because women's toilets, blokes' toilets, I was the cleaner, I was the toilet cleaner, so I was going to be in one of the toilets. And if a woman comes in, the sexual harassment I used to get from the business women working at IBM, I can honestly say back then as a small child was quite horrific. Actually, I'd love it to happen now, but
yeah. No, it's shocking, hilarious as well. Though when I think back on it, didn't take offence. No, but just things like, oh, hello, my love. Why, what are you doing in here? Well, I wouldn't mind you. All this kind of thing, and getting worse and worse and worse.
See, that's great. That'd be a bit of fun, but maybe that's just
of course it was.
Maybe that's just a male perspective. But
I wasn't saying it. I was the butt of the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've heard from several people over the years that all this talk about toxic masculinity and how men banter with each other and this, that, and the other. But I've heard from quite a few women on separate occasions that when women get together, they are just as bad, if not worse.
If not worse, yes, yeah.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
It'd be nice to get some women to actually corroborate that. I could be talking a load of nonsense, but it's just what I've been told. So
yeah.
But yeah, so Les Dawson.
It
was actually we were talking about those two women talking over the guy routine where he keeps pushing his boob up with his forearm and all that. Last week I said it was Les Dennis was the other one. It wasn't Les Dennis, it was Roy Barraclough who was the other one.
Yes. Yeah. It was Roy Barraclough. Yeah.
That wordsmith again, just playing on the words, or as we were saying there, where they mouth they don't say out loud the naughty words or the innuendo words, which obviously makes it even more funny. And the amount of and it gets to the point where you can turn any word into an innuendo just by not saying it out loud. Thus, now that becomes the funny word. And so he obviously realised that, and that's where we get these. Even when we go back to the two Ronnies and all the other ones, where they play with the words and give them a meaning that isn't particularly right per se, but it's now funny because it's put in a different way.
Yeah, double entendres, sort of thing.
Yes, the king of double entendres. Yeah, I was sat at the bottom of the garden last week, smoking a nice reflective old Holborn, thinking about this and that, mostly that, and it just happened to glance in the night sky, and I marvelled at the millions of stars glistening like pieces of quicksilver thrown carelessly into the black velvet. In awe, I watched the vixen moon ride across the zenith of the heavens like an amber chariot towards the void of infinite space, wherein the tethered bolts of Jupiter and Mars hang forever in the orbit of majesty. And as I looked up at this, I thought to myself, geez, I need a shit.
Yeah, brilliant.
That was a Les Dawson joke, I presume.
It was. And again, he's very. Whenever I think of Les Dawson, now that I know which Les we're talking about, I found that when I edited it back, I found that hilarious. I definitely didn't know what Les we were talking about, but he's very much. I think of him as a cruise ship entertainer, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's a real variety performer, old school variety type guy. He used to do. There used to be a program. I don't know. It might be a bit before your time, 4D, but Viv, you probably remember it. The Good Old Days. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
It was a real variety vaudeville. It's kind of everyone dressed up in sort of late 19th century, sort of Victorian, and it's like in a theatre, and you'd have the kind of the MC introducing, and they have all the different variety acts come on, and Les Dawson used to do that quite a lot, I believe.
Yeah.
Along with pantomime and the other. So yeah, very real old school, very much 70s.
I used to enjoy the good old days, actually. I don't know why, even as a kid.
Yeah, it used to be on a Sunday night. I think my parents used to watch it, and I was never big on variety. It's too much singing and dancing. It's like I didn't mind a comedian or two, but I wasn't really much into singing or dancing. But yeah, it used to be on, and I used to watch it because my folks watched it.
Yeah, yeah. It was funny at the time. It's a really old thing. Weird, wasn't it? It was a revival of variety.
Yeah,
The old variety, the musical. Yeah, which had long gone by then. But
absolutely.
yeah.
What I want to know is whatever happened to the black.
The what? Sorry.
Oh, you don't know the black and white minstrel show?
Oh,
yeah. Sorry, you broke up. I didn't hear what you said. Right?
Yeah.
Very much of its time, never to be seen again in the modern era.
No.
Yeah,
it was crazy, wasn't it? Absolutely crazy when you think back.
yeah.
I'm sure Lenny Henry had something to do with that as well, actually. No, seriously.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That was a bit before his time, wasn't it?
When he was a little kid, I reckon.
He was on. Oh, funnily enough, there's a connection to Les Dawson because Les Dawson rose to prominence once again on what was that program called? Opportunity Knocks, kind of talent show.
Oh yes, of course.
Oh, is he another one? Right.
Yeah, and Lenny Henry, I think, was on the later iteration of that, New Faces. That's how Lenny Henry came through as well. But yeah, Opportunity Knocks used to be the talent show, sort of late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Totally. Yes, Lenny Henry. I've just looked it up on the interwebs. He was on the Black and White Minstrel Show. He said, "I needed therapy after going on the Black and White Minstrel Show."
Well, the funny thing was, the irony of it all was because it used to be just basically kind of a load of guys and women dancing, but all the guys were all in blackface. And and I doubt very many of them were actually black. They were probably all white, just in black, kind of old very much an Al Jolson type look, with the white lips, black face and white lip and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
And it was just kind of dancing, wasn't it? It was just a load of them just dancing to music for the most part.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, bizarre, really bizarre.
But yeah, Lenny Henry was on it. Yeah, and apparently he suffered heartbreak as well. Yeah.
Because of what? Because the fact that he was on it, or
because he was on it. Yeah.
Okay.
But it is. It was a serious relic, wasn't it? Back on the minstrel show.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
It
was crap, but as was in a sense the good old days, and a lot of that stuff of TV we watched.
Yeah.
But it was Leonard Sachs who
that's the one. Yeah, he was
the one.
Yeah,
he was the MC. Yeah,
that's right. Leonard Sachs. Yeah, with the hammer. He used to have a hammer, didn't he? Like a gavel.
Yep.
He was married to a woman until she died in 1986, and I again often think about him with his mother-in-law jokes. It must have been quite hellish being married to him, knowing that he was going to go up on stage every Friday and slag your mum off.
I know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I Les Dawson was actually a very decent guy, so I'm sure. Because he was married twice, and his first wife died of cancer. He had 3 kids with her, and she died of cancer. So it's not like he got divorced or anything. And then he married again a second time with whom he had one more kid. And
That's it. Yeah,
I think they were married until he died. So yeah, I think he was pretty much a decent guy, So I'm sure his wife didn't mind. Sure.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're all actors in a sense, aren't we? In this funny old life.
Yeah,
that's right. And as long as you've got a decent relationship, obviously the joke, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Well, it's bringing in the money, isn't it?
True.
Yeah.
And it's humor, it's comedy. This is the thing. Like, so back in the days when people didn't take comedy so seriously, it's like it's a joke, it's comedy. You know, that's the whole point of it. You don't.
I wonder where the idea. I wonder if because I'd say he's very famous for doing mother-in-law jokes, and I wonder if that's where the idea for dressing up as an older woman. I wonder if that's where that came from, where he got such a laugh out of taking the mickey out of the mother-in-law that he thought, why not become the mother-in-law sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good point. Yeah.
I also think that was a staple of comedians in those days. Dressing up as a woman just had comedic value just to start with before you actually did anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a British thing. This idea, Shakespeare started it, and it's pantomime. It's such a British thing. Actually, I love it. It's hilarious. It's great. It's good spirited. It's not. It's why this modern world has ruined comedy as well. Ruined everything. But yeah.
Yeah, it'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
We do sound like old gits, though, when
we are
talking about. I suppose we are. Yeah. Hang on. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How old are you? 18.
Yeah. That is a point.
Have you seen the film Grumpy Old Men, Viv?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Oh, you have? Brilliant. Yeah. Have you seen it, Bronze?
Is that with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon? Is it that one? Is that Grumpy Old Men?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I believe so.
I'll say yes. I'm terrible with names, but if Viv says yes, then it must be. But yeah, that's what we are, aren't we? It's just that's what all men become.
It's just it's the way things. That's life. That's the way it goes. You can't help but become a grumpy old man if you're a man and you get old. You become grumpy. Because life changes around you, doesn't it? It's a constant thing, and
it's true, and you mourn what you think were better days. Well, maybe they were, maybe they weren't, but you were young and foolish.
But when you were young and foolish, these so-called better days, you still had older people who would do exactly the same thing about their younger days. So the older generation are always disparaging about the youth and the trends and the new this, that, and the other which come along.
Yeah, of course.
It's universal, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
But it was better when we were young.
Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah. But no, I believe it was actually. I believe there's much more freedom. Things like the old cliche. But my mum used to say, I want you out the house. I don't want you to come back until tea time.
Exactly.
And I just think brilliant. Yeah, okay.
It was safe to do that. When I was a kid, I used to go with my mates. We used to go and ride our bicycles for miles. And there was never a problem. Go away. I'd be gone for hours. And I think my parents were just glad that I was out of the house, out from under their feet.
That's right. Exactly.
Get rid of me.
Exactly.
Get rid of me. Just go out. And my mum was always telling me to go out, go and do something, get out and do something. It's like,
my ex-missus used to say that as well. But
you.
They say, why don't you go and visit your friends or something? Hanging around here. Think, oh, all right.
I was thinking back. I used to cycle from my place in Portsmouth to my granddad's place in Chichester, and most of that would be along the M27. And I think to myself, exactly. I think to myself, that's not that long ago. And it would take me, because I was, as I say, I was about 11, 12, 13 when I used to start cycling to my granddad's. And that's number one, it's a fair distance. Number two, it's on a motorway and no one gave a shit. I was fine. I used to go there, come back. It's fine.
Well, another thing, it's illegal to ride a bicycle on a motorway. I'm surprised you.
It was it was illegal back then, but hey,
it still is now.
Yeah.
And what happened to hitchhikers? They've all gone. You never see hitchhikers, do you?
Bloody dangerous now. That's why.
Yeah, who's going to do that now? Do you know what? I once hitchhiked from Germany to France just because I could, I suppose. I wouldn't do that now. No way.
Yeah, I hitched when I was young. I hitchhiked from northern France to Italy, and I tell you what, it was a bloody adventure. But had its ups and downs. But I did it, me and a mate. It was crazy, but we did it.
I used to do it on my own. I used to do it on my own, and I met brilliant people. I never felt unsafe. Just stick your thumb out. You'd be on the slip road, and someone would pick you up, and women would pick you up. You can't
even imagine that now. A woman picking a strange man up on the motorway.
I know.
Well, on our way back from Italy, we got a lift with someone who's driving back to England, and we were driving. And there was a guy hitchhiking, and he had an American flag. And the guy who's driving said, "Oh, there you go, let's go and pick him up." We speak the same language, and it's like walking along with a flag of your country these days could get you into serious problems.
Yeah, get you run over. Yeah,
depending where you are, of course.
Yeah,
get you arrested for being far right. Or something.
You've got me reminiscing. I think I've had I've picked up a couple of hitchhikers in my time, and again, never even considered doing anything bad to them, but they never considered I would either, and it was what different times, man.
Amazing,
amazing.
Yeah, I know. Sad, really, isn't it?
It is.
It is. We're supposed to end on freaking comedy, gentlemen, and
yeah.
And I've managed to bring it down again. So
I know, but that's a good ending. That's a nice ending, I think.
I've got a few jokes. Hold your horses.
Good.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, earlier on, a UPS delivery driver, he asked me for the time. I said anywhere between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Aye. Very good. Very good.
I got home earlier to find my wife has been on eBay all day long. If she's still on there tomorrow, I'm going to have to lower the price.
That
could be a Les Dawson joke.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at Les Dawson jokes, and they're very similar to what you just said, actually.
Yeah. What do you call
my
a chicken?
mother-in-law has come around. Oh, go on.
Yeah, go on, Viv. Now your turn.
My mother-in-law has come round to our house at Christmas 7 years running. This year we're having a change. We're going to let her in.
Yeah, I told that one last week.
Viv. You're terrible for that.
Shit, did you?
That's going to become your joke, that you tell a joke from last week.
Yeah. I finally get it. It's taken me a week. Yeah.
That reminds me of there's a Two Ronnies sketch where they did a piss take of Mastermind, and he comes on and he said his specialist subject is answering a question that you just told before, and so he asks him a question and he answers a question he just asked him before. You'd have to see it. Look it up. You'd have to see it.
Yeah, I get it.
I must admit, it's like me. I'm feeling quite proud of myself at the moment because I bought myself a puzzle the other day that said 3 to 5 years, but I did it in 18 months.
Yeah. That's my favourite so far, actually.
What do you call a chicken that's staring at lettuce?
Don't know.
Chicken Caesar salad.
All right. Yeah.
And that is Viv's worst favourite so far.
No, I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's not one of the shakers though. That rattled my cage and made me laugh. But
well, yesterday a guy tried to sell me a coffin. I said that's the last thing I need.
Yeah.
Yes.
He then wanted me to buy a glass coffin. I said that remains to be seen.
Dark.
Yeah, okay, I'm done.
I think on that happy note, I think we'll leave it then.
Yeah, I know. I'm embarrassed. Yeah.
You got to do like us. You got to pull up your one-liners or dad jokes or whatever you pull up on your internets next to you.
I know. Did you hear about the circus fire?
No.
It was intense.
It's good night from me, and it's good night from them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, all right, people.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, have a good week, gents, and I'll speak to you next week.
Yeah, indeed. Okay then, peeps. All the best.
I told my wife that her new bra hugs the curves in all the right places. She said, "Stop wearing my underwear."
I don't get that. Hang on, I don't get that. You said bra. Hang on, I don't get that.
I told my wife that her new bra hugs the curves in all the right places. And she said to me to stop wearing her underwear.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Sorry, got you. I didn't understand that at all. Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
I got it.
Good.